Welcome back everybody to Forza Horizon 4, and today we are once again doing a seasonal championship. This one is as snug as a buggy, so yeah, in the off-road buggy vehicles. I don't think there's all that many to choose from, but I'm pretty sure there's at least 3, which is always a good thing, because obviously there are 3 races a championship, and it gets quite boring if we have to use the same car over and over again. So yeah, let's get there in this luxurious barge and see what races has to offer. So yeah, we don't get a car or anything from this.
Great to see you're getting involved with our seasonal championships. I think you'll enjoy this one.
But these things are always fun. Ah, there's 4. Or 5 even. So yeah, that's always a good thing. So we got a Class 10 race car from Illumicraft, but it's a Forza edition. I don't really fancy using those. Ariel Nomad, Can-Am Maverick, Exomotive Exoset, and a Hot Wheels Rip Rod. So we've at least got 4 to choose from. I think we'll go for the classic Ariel Nomad first, because it's a vehicle that everybody knows. As Ariel are quite infamous for these kind of vehicles, with the Atom as well being a ferocious race car, and this is a really rather solid off-roader. I mean, you really couldn't ask them to make any kind of 2 completely different vehicles if you try one that's blisteringly quick on a track, and then one that can dominate the off-road courses with ease like this. And yeah, it takes quite a lot of engineering to do both. Never mind from the same company. So yeah, like the Atom, doesn't weigh all that much and has a fair decent amount of power. A lot of the beetles around on this. Lumicraft is trying to kill me for some reason. Let's at least start off better than the previous seasonal championship, where we only got into 6th place in the first race, which was not helpful. At least this is a lapped race, so I can get used to the track. It's very close to hitting that monument there. Yeah, this car is quite tricky to drive because it does have a lot of power going through those rear wheels. And yeah, being as light as it is and off-road orientated, it's a little bit of a handful. Does certainly take some practice to properly become an expert at driving it, or at least competent to drive it. I think I might well have jinxed myself about saying 6th place for the first race. Come on, at least beat the Beetle. Yes, come on, beat the Illumicraft as well. Right, it's definitely a better start to this championship than the last one, though I would have preferred a podium position, but we're going to have to settle for 4th. Because for some reason that Beetle seems to be a better off-road vehicle than this Ariel Nomad. So yeah, but at least 4th place is better than 6th, and yeah, it gives us a handy 12 points, which puts us into double figures straight away. And yeah, gives us a decent start to the championship as a whole. So yeah, nonetheless, let's get on to the second race. So a 4th place position there was a decent start to this championship, but we're going to have to do a lot better than that if we're actually going to win it. So yeah, but as you can see, this car, the Nomad, had a lot of power and torque for something that doesn't even weigh £1,500, so it's not surprised that it's a little bit on the tricky side, especially since it's also rear-engined, not mid-engined or anything like that. So yeah, a little bit of a tricky car. So let's see if a Exomotive Exoset can do any better. Weighs a little bit more, has more power, more torque, but I think on the whole it's got better braking and handling. Yes, it does substantially better handling and braking. So yeah, it might not look all that impressive, but it should hopefully do better than the Nomad with that extra power and torque, hopefully making up for the additional weight, but it's not a massive amount of extra weight. But then hopefully the handling and braking will also mean that we can actually use that power. I felt like I wasn't able to get the most out of that Nomad with its power and torque because of how tricky it was at the rear end. The best of starts, but we'll hopefully make up for it. Problem with these lightweight vehicles is that any object that you hit that is part of the road scenery or anything, road furniture or anything like that, slows it down a considerable more amount than it will ever do with a vehicle that is heavier, just because it has less momentum going behind it. Oh dear, big crash there. No idea how that happened. Oh, and another crash from another Beetle getting in the way, which put me right off my driving line and maybe hit some rocks, which is not helpful. Oh dear, nearly spun out there. We seem to be struggling in these buggies. Guess they're not quite my forte. We all have things we're good at and not good at, so guess we found the kind of cars I'm really not good at. We're probably going to have to restart this if we do not gain positions. Looks like somebody's crashed. And it's a Beetle again. What is the matter with the Beetles on this race, eh? Seems to want to be perpetually falling over. Yeah, we're going to have to restart. Do apologise, for whatever reason I'm not able to keep up with them at some areas, and I think those couple of crashes didn't help, because while the first one was a little bit of a distraction, the second one did force me off my driving line and into some debris, which really slowed me down. So let's see if we have a bit more of a peaceful race this time. But yeah, those Beetles are all over the place in terms of being able to be competitive on this race, despite being really rather decent in the previous one. So yeah, no idea what is going on with them. Falling over and spinning out. It's almost like they're taking part in a Herbie film. Yeah, it's done the exact same thing that it did last time. Only this time it's got in our way. Rolled over for some reason. Must have hit some kind of little mound or something on the side of the track. And the beetles have fallen over again. 2 of them this time. What on earth is going on? They do not seem to like this course. It has at least given me a 5th place position. I really do want to be aiming for first though. He seems to have roared away. At least we haven't spun out ourselves this time. I don't know why I pressed my horn there. It's a Halloween horn for some reason. Must have left it on there from last October. I think this exo set is all that quick, to be honest. It's not a slow thing at all, but for whatever reason it just doesn't seem to have the get up and go of other vehicles on this championship. I mean, we're still going to get a top 5 position, but yeah, really needed a first place, to be honest. We're actually going to get 4th because the beetle has fallen over again. Don't know how you manage that on a smooth tarmac surface, but there we go. So yeah, we're going to be forever 4th again, which is a bit of a shame, but there we go. I've tried it second time and at least got a better position than we would have before, but yeah, 24 points puts us in 2nd place, so we're really going to have to come first next time round to even hope fully come 1st place, but at least we're in a decent position and not, you know, 4th or 5th or anything like that. So yeah, nonetheless, let's get on to the last race. Right, so the exo set there, despite having a fair decent amount of power and torque and not all that much in the way of weight, does not seem to be all that quick. The only theory I can give is the fact that it doesn't have quite as large of an engine as a Nomad, and I think the Nomad is supercharged whereas the exo set is turbocharged, so maybe off-road buggies with only rear-wheel drive are better suited to something that is constantly giving power rather than a turbocharger that needs to be in the right kind of revs or whatever like that. So yeah, right, so we're going to get into... I'm not sure about the Can-Am or not. It doesn't quite have all that much in the way of top speed, and neither did the exo set, which sort of hindered it at some point. So I think we'll go for the Hot Wheels Rip Rod. Yeah, it's got a decent amount of power, not much in the way of weight, and the handling and braking is fairly decent. Not as good as the exo set, but it is better than the Nomad. So yeah, let's see what a Hot Wheels car in real life can do, and if it can do any better than the previous 2 vehicles. We do preferably need a 1st place position rather than forever 4th again. So yeah, let's see if a one-off vehicle can do better than vehicles that have been made hundreds of times. It's got a better launch. It's got a really rather rapid gearbox as well in terms of its gearing being quite short. Oh dear. Clipped that wall and it's spun me out again because lightweight cars like this are easily slowed down or altered in their trajectory by objects like walls and fences and trees and the like. So yeah, you have to be quite careful with lightweight vehicles about what you do and don't hit. It's quite oversteery, but it's pretty quick as well. But again, a wall hit us. Too used to those kind of, you know, Goliath kind of vehicles that just plough through everything. So they got better speed down here than the Exocet did on the longest kind of straight on the previous race. Luckily it is 3 laps and these laps are quite long, so got plenty of opportunity to gain places that we so desperately need. Are we quicker in a straight line though than the Lumicraft? I think we are. It's quite a tricky car to drive, this. Quite as much as the Nomad, but getting there. And I think if it had the same kind of power as a Nomad, it probably would be as difficult to drive. Luckily, it's got a little bit less in horsepower and quite significant less in terms of torque. No Beetles have fallen over this race, which is both a good thing and a bad thing, because it's a good thing because obviously there's nothing to get in our way, but it's a bad thing because it means that we're not going to gain any places from there falling over. For whatever reason, this championship has been far more difficult than other ones. The AI seem to be on top form. Usually so, to be honest. It's just because I'm useless at driving these kind of vehicles. We're gonna give it one more shot, and if we don't do it, then we don't do it. This is the way it goes. Can't win everything. So it wouldn't be the first time I failed at one of these championships, though not necessarily one that's been recorded, which does add some extra pressure, to be honest. I don't think there are any Beetles. Yeah, that's probably why none of them have fallen over. None are here. Well, we've overtaken whoever was in first, because I recognise the gamer tag, but well, we did. There they are. But that does not mean we'd win, because they are 4 points ahead, so we need to at least be 3 positions ahead of them. And then whoever is obviously in first is going to gain a massive 20 points, which could easily overtake me. So yeah, there's no real guarantees here, and it's not something that can easily be worked out either. Just have to really go for it. Seems to be a bit closer to the pack at the front than last time. Obviously, moments like that do not help. Seems buggies aren't my strong point. Give me a large Bentley any day and I'll ace it, but something like this against these kind of cars just doesn't seem to work for me. No idea why I cannot catch up. Yeah, we've lost this completely. This probably wasn't the right vehicle to choose. I don't know. Screw it. Let's try out the Illumicraft edition of Forza. Forza edition, whatever it's called. See if that can solve our problem, because it does look like a fairly good version of that Illumicraft, but I tend to steer away from upgraded versions of cars for these championships, but maybe that's just the way to go with this. I do apologise for doing this a third time. Well, that's plenty of power, so hopefully that's going to make the difference that we need. But yeah, can't quite work out why this is far more of a struggle than other championships. I know we've never always won every race in a championship. We have, like I said earlier in this video, we came 6th place in the first race on the last championship that we did, but we at least then had success in the next 2 races. But yeah, for whatever reason, this is a struggle. This definitely seems a lot quicker though. Right, this is the last time. Do or die in this car. we're doing better already. No, it's not the best look ever to blame the vehicle that you're in for your performance, but the fact that we're immediately up into 6th place where we never got before does kind of indicate that the hot rod, rip rod, whatever it's called, is not the right vehicle. So it'll be faster in terms of top speed. Maybe not the most agile thing considering how large it is and how heavy it is. It does weigh more than 500 pounds over the rip rod. But at least that weight will come into favour when accidentally come into contact with anything. mph quicker down that straight there than we were in the rip rod. So it's definitely the faster vehicle. Yeah, they rolled it though there. I guess my main issue with these buggies is that when I come to off-road racing, a lot of the time I'm in a all-wheel drive car. So maybe it's just inexperience of driving rear-wheel drive off-road vehicles that is doing me in. Well, the three racers in front seem to be slowing each other down a fair bit. Not enough for me to catch them up though, unfortunately. While saying that, definitely gained some ground. At least match the previous two races and get 4th. I doubt that'll be enough to win the championship. Everyone else just seems to have more straight line speed than me for whatever reason. Well, at least it's a better position than we were going to have with our last effort. But it's not enough to win the championship, I really doubt it is. So I think in 6th you only get 8 points, so that'll take us up to 30. Yeah, 32, but yeah, still not enough. Only 6 points off, but yeah, the first place division would have secured that for us. But yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. You don't win everything on these games, and it's all about learning how to drive certain vehicles on certain off-road, on certain elements and the like. So yeah. big shame there, but that's how it goes sometimes. So yeah, thanks for watching anyway, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.